Howdy, author Brian S. Pratt here again. So I got another FAQ, frequently asked questions. When did I start writing and why? I get that a lot actually. Well, I first started writing in 2005. March 1st, 2005, I sat down and wrote the first word of The Unsuspecting Mage. And I've been writing ever since. Some days more than others. And my first book was first published December 1st, 2005. Yeah, I got a lot of rejection letters, so I went with iUniverse, a vanity publisher, self-publishing, and they got me started. My first 10 books, the 7 of Morsai Saga and the 3 of the Broken Key trilogy were all published through iUniverse first. And I made money every month. My first royalty check was $44, surprisingly. That was probably all family and friends. But every time I got a royalty check, which was every 3 months, I got money. And so as long as I kept getting money and I kept it going. Now, why did I get started writing? Well, I had recently been divorced the year before, and I had time on my hands. And I've been an avid reader my whole life. I play Dungeons and Dragons all the time, a lot. Role-playing games, computer games with fantasy like Bard's Tale, Zork, and now Skyrim, and a whole lot of Might and Magic, almost the entire set of Might and Magic. So fantasy has always been a major facet of my life. So and I had several authors who just weren't coming out with their next book on time, which kind of makes me laugh now because my last book took it far too long to come out. And when I was a reader, I didn't understand how come that happens. But now that I'm a writer and I've got 19 books published, yeah, it can take a while sometimes. Sometimes you get a little burnout and you got to take a break. Sometimes you write yourself into a corner. I do that quite a bit. Or you have to, your story is not going anywhere, but you just can't face the fact that you got to scrap the last 3 chapters and start over. And I hate that. I really hate that bad. And sometimes I will fuss about it and think of different ways I can do it. But then sometimes I just say, okay, gotta scrap it and start over. My last book, Tides of Salvation, my longest one ever. It took the longest too, but everyone seems to say it was my best one. So sometimes taking longer, you get qualities. Sometimes not. And so yeah, I started writing because I couldn't find any books I wanted to read that I wanted to read, and so I wrote The Unsuspecting Mage, and then subsequently the Morsai Saga. Morsai Saga is 7 books long. It's complete. It has an ending, and at the end of it, you feel good. There's no real questions about, well, this might be happening or this might be happening. No, there's an ending. It ends. I wanted to make sure that my series ended. Too many times I read books and the series ends, but you have all these questions, and they're setting it up for the next series, and you're just kind of hanging in limbo. But no, my series ends. It comes to a complete ending. I mean, there is a follow-up series, but you can read the Morsai Saga and not read the second series and be fine. You really have no questions in your head other than, well, how did he turn out? The Trail of Dark Mage starts 5 years later and a whole new series of events. And it's a lot bigger. The plots and everything's a lot bigger. There are more moving parts. And the moving parts, that's what takes a long time. But yeah. Well, so that answers the question. When I started, March 1st, 2005. Why? Because I couldn't find anything I wanted to read, and I wanted to write something that I could read. Another question I always get is, well, who's your target audience? I go, me. Plain and simple, it was me. I am I am my own target audience. I write what I would want to read, and it has seemed to resonate with quite a few people. It keeps going, and I got a lot of good people following me now. So, yeah, quite happy with everything. Anyway, if you have any questions, put them in the comments. I'll create a an FAQ if I need to, or if you want me to, that's fine. If not, I'll keep coming up with stuff that people have asked me over the years. So these are questions that have actually been asked me through emails or whatever. And I'll talk to you later. Y'all have a good night.